Good day, everyone, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. And today I'll be doing the review of Jolly Roger. Jolly Roger made its way to Netflix on the 10th of March, and it has been an interesting one so far. So, if you've not seen Jolly Roger, just go and watch it. And if you've seen it too, let us have this conversation about it. But before we begin, please and please and please subscribe to my YouTube channel so we can always get the gist. And for returning subscribers who are always coming here to watch, I'm so grateful. Without any further ado, let's get started. The film is a crime thriller which tells the story of desperate men. Yes, they call it noir as a film genre. So it tells the story of police brutality and psychological effects which it has on victims. And this is a very good story which we need to tell. Yes, I really applaud the producer and the scriptwriter for bringing up this story together. Like, it's a wonderful story, it's a wonderful piece that needs to be told. Yes, so it tells the story of police brutality, love, romance, desperate men, and what they can do. Then what else? It explores a good number of societal issue, utilizing just few casts. That's one lovely thing about the film. Like, the number of casts on this film were just 6 or 7, if I'm not mistaken. But it was a wonderful piece. Like, it was so great compared to movies where we have thousands of people. This film had just few people, and it was a wonderful watch. The film featured Deyemi Okanlawon, Daniel Etim Effiong, Toni Tones, Frank Donga. Oh my god, I've forgotten this man's name. I think Taiwo Oshinaike. Yeah. And one other, I think, and Tina Mba. So that's just a very few casts the film had. And this cast actually gave light to this film. They did so well with their roles. Like, every one of them were exceptional with their role. So the story was an interesting one. And it also tells the story of how couple had to struggle with childlessness, like during their waiting period, the struggle, and how women are always the one on the end, actually taking all of the pressure, all of the societal pressure that comes with childbearing. So, having said this, so let us talk about the cast and their role and how well they perform on on this film. No, so now for the cast and their roles and how were they able to interpret their characters? It's like, for me, I'll actually start with Tony Shinake. So this man actually did so well with his role. Like, this character, the character Officer Pius was a very annoying person. He was extremely will I say extremely bitter, extremely wicked. He does not have a heart anymore, because regardless of everything, he was not even pained by the trait and everything of the character of Daniel Etim had actually told him about his family, and knowing he knows so much. But just the fact that he talked about his dog was just so, I don't understand. And how does not really care about everything. He was not apologetic, even till the point at which he was killed. So this man had been so much into things like this that he became, like, will I say, he's now so heartless. And this what's the name, the actor Taiwo Shinaki was able to bring this character into light. Like, he did well with this character. Yeah. So then the next person I'm talking about is Frank Donga. So Frank Donga was also an officer on this film, and he is known as Officer Felix. So one thing I really like is the fact that most of the films we've seen Frank Donga did in the past, or which I have seen Frank Donga did in the past, he had always played the role of a comic character. You get, but for this one, he's in a situation where he's struggling with his life, and he wants to be free. He wants to leave. Frank Donga, like the character of Officer Felix, wants to leave. So he was apologetic. He wants to know what they must have done that had warranted the character of Danny Effiong, that's Brume. So I've decided to cage them and put them in that condition in his house. So it really brought that character to life. At some point, in as much as when the film started and how they came demanding for millions of naira and the rest from Brume. Like, for me, I feel like these people must be a joke, and we've heard stories of police brutality and how bad it is, and I think this story is a nice one that we actually make people understand that this thing goes a long way in the life of these people, and if to an extent it will touch this kind of people and maybe they'll decide to do better with in society. So now, I haven't seen how the film started. well, for me, I felt like I never pitied them about the way they were being treated. Even before I found out what they did, I was not pitying them because I know these people who can be very, very cruel. Especially, like, the man is just a cruel one, just a wicked person. Even from the beginning, when he was demanding from 10, he changed it. He told Felix that it will be that I'm talking about Pius. He told Felix that they're going to change. It's going to be 15 million. And while he was to talk to Brume, he was demanding 20 million for what crime? No crime. Just for the fact that someone is rich. So that's one annoying thing. And also this labeling and stigmatizing people with dreads and a certain look, and how they will always be classified into like their fraudsters and the rest. So it was actually wonderful that they fell prey into Brume's what's his name costume of going to that place with dread and the rest. So talking about Felix now, in as much as I feel I do not feel pity for them, but the way the character of Frank Donga was able to interpret that role, to an extent you feel pity for them and you just keep questioning what have they done, what have they done? So he actually did well with his character, with his role in this film. So the next person I'm talking about is Tony Tones. So Tony Tones, I think I've not seen so much of Tony Tones films, yes, because a lot of people are having this conversation about how Tony Tones, we've seen a new side of Tony Tones. She has always been fierce, she has always been very, very vibrant and active in her films. But for this film, that's Jolly Roger, she actually played a calm role. So, but I cannot relate to that narration, to that story, or to that narration of her because I guess I've not seen so much of her films. A film I've seen in the past is just King of Boys and Brotherhood, and she actually played vibrant roles in those films. She actually did interpret this role, this character, very, very well. It was a lovely one to watch. She did well with the character. So the next person I'm talking about is Deyemi Okanlawon. So Deyemi Okanlawon played Dami. For me, I do not see anything exceptional with that role. We've seen him done things like that. It was just like a regular role in which Deyemi have always played. Then for the main character, that's Daniel Etim Effiong. So Daniel Etim Effiong actually played the role of he played the character Brume, and Brume was passing through the psychological effects of his wife dying from police brutality. He was struggling and he wants revenge. Yes, so revenge is a major topic in this film. So he wants to revenge, and I just felt just like I was just so happy about the killing of this police because the society is just so bad that even if he had decided to go through the right route, go through the right procedure to actually find justice for his wife, nothing will happen. I'm not saying we should give up on this of the on like we should give up on Nigeria judicial system and the rest. But it's just a tiring situation when it comes to all of this matter. So he actually took justice to his hands and seek revenge for his late wife. And there was this two major role, we like to say two major character he played in this film. Like in as much as it's just a film. So he was there was because there was this the film had this um close to half of the film had a throwback narration of what brought them to the situation of kidnapping this police and wanting to and dealing with them. So while they are taking us back with flashback, we saw how wonderful the character Brume was, like how sweet it was to his wife and how it was a very lovely husband. So it's now actually brought us to the reason why he became so bitter, so he just wants this revenge badly and he wants to get it at the detriment of no, he's not really getting it at anybody's detriment. He wants to just get those people. He wants to pay back. He wants them to actually feel the pain is passing through. Yeah, so that's that. He actually did well with his role. We had Tina Mba. I feel the Tina Mba in this film is just the regular Tina Mba we've always seen in films. She actually did well with that character. So that storyline, I actually love the fact that this story is not basic. And for the storyline was an exceptional one because of the fact that it's not just basic stories we've always heard about. couple struggling with childbearing, and eventually they get to have a child, and probably the child was not the man's own. How this writer was able to infuse this story with this police brutality, I think it's now explored a whole lot of things in society. And the story with this, because it has, I would like to say it has two major stories which were like kind of in which were interfused. I don't know if that word is so correct in this context. So, yeah, so it's a very wonderful one to see. This screenwriter, I don't know who I will give this credit to. Yeah, so how they were able to bring up the story together and make it a whole, and now make it, like I say, now make it a very wonderful one, because it's different from like the regular stories we've seen in the past. So it was a very wonderful one. So clarifying the air about whose child are those babies, the unborn babies in Tony Tones. That's in the character of what's the name? Najite. So the thing is, upon finishing the film, I was so confused, and I even had to argue with my friends about who had the child, why did they decide to use Dami's blood test for the blood test and the rest, why all of that confusion. So whose child was it? Was those babies? So I got no answers to that because I was so confused about that part. And but luckily enough for me, after watching the film, I watched yesterday March 16th. So in that same night, they actually Shock Nigeria held a what's the name? They held a Twitter space which had the cast of this film on it. So Tony Tones actually explained that the idea was that the test was they intentionally used what's his name? They used the doctor's what's his name blood sample, that's Dami, hoping that she cheated with Dami, you get, and having cheated with Dami, so she was hoping the child, or I think she had that mindset that the child could be Dami's, but they don't want a situation where they actually, and so she wanted to use Dami's blood sample for this test, and hoping it's just going to be positive. And when it's positive, they put what's his name, the husband's name there, and show him that result, so he can feel like, oh, this child is. So that's fraud. You get the point now. But now, upon doing this manipulation now, it was even negative, just to find out that the child were even is and not damaged. But you get but the this thing now, the result got to Brume immediately after the result came, and it felt like, and the result was showing him that this child were not his. Moreover, the test was that of dummies. I don't know if you guys are now making sense out of this. So she actually clarified that on the Twitter space. I just like the fact that he was able to succeed with that mission. In as much as it happened at the detriment of his life, everybody died. Yes, so but the fact that for him to live without trauma of having his wife die to such events was so hard for some set of people. Another highlight of this film was the part where they asked the character officer Felix to choose between his family and himself, and this man actually chose himself. How selfish can someone be? Like, it's not just these other people will be killing, it's not just one. You kill your wife and children. Probably children could be three, could be two. That's like three people. Why don't you just sacrifice yourself for them? But it's a very hard situation. All of them are desperate in that film. Yes, I'm saying that because Tony Tones desperately need to be pregnant, and her desperation led her to cheating. Deyemi Okanlawon desperate is also kind of desperate because having been told about, so I want to say something, how foolish that character could be. Having done all of that to this police, and you're still even thinking of $150 million somewhere, which you should know that that was not real. And even despite the fact that the man told him that there's no money anywhere, when he actually was able to get the gun from him, he was still at the point where they killed the that officer Pius, was still asking for money. I don't know how foolish someone can be. That character is a very foolish one. Yeah. Then what else again? The another highlight was when Officer Felix, was it Felix? Officer Pius was able to get the gun from Dami. That part was so interesting because it was like I think that part was like the climax of that film, because we're like, wow, so it's now equal, and let's see who will actually win this. So it was very wonderful to see that that kind of that twist in the film. Another highlight of the film is the fact, yeah, he killed them and all of that. So it was a wonderful film to watch. If you've not seen this film, you can always just go see it on Netflix. Jolly Roger. It's a very very wonderful one, and I did like it. So thank you for watching thank you for watching. Please and please and please subscribe. I'm begging. Please subscribe. Thank you so much.